All right, welcome back. Today I'm giving you a full update on the three engine portfolio and where things stand, what I've been adding, and how I'm funding it. Just a quick recap of the system. It's three engines, each one built around a different purpose. Engine one is the growth engine. It's at the ETS VGT, VXUS, and VTI. These are core ETS focused on long-term capital appreciation. Engine two is the income engine, and I'm using AIPI, JEPQ, and ROCQ. And these are all income generating ETFs that push cash right back into my pocket. Actually, I just reinvested also because I set up DRIP. And then engine three is the safety net. This is SCHD, IBHF, and USHY. Definitely a bit more conservative, but a lot lower volatility position that protects the base. So the rule is pretty simple. It's $10 per ETF, 3 ETFs per engine, and every single week I do this on auto. That's $90 minimum going in no matter what the market does, no matter what kind of week I've had. And so here's the new piece that I want to talk about today. So I've started using DoorDash earnings, which I don't make a whole lot. I did this last week. I made about $215, but I'm going to use that to fund the contributions. So every dollar I make dashing is going to go into this as well. And I'm going to divide it up amongst those 9 ETFs. All right, but before we get into it, just a quick disclaimer, and it's so I have nothing I share here is financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. I'm just a guy who's building something publicly, and I want you to see real numbers, good and bad. And past performance doesn't guarantee future results. This portfolio has been working for me so far, but the market can do whatever it wants. And this is my personal journey. It's what fits my risk tolerance and income situation, and it may not fit yours. Please do your own research. Talk to a professional if you need to, and never invest money you can't afford to lose. All right, with that said, let's get into it here. All right, here is the breakdown for the contribution cycle. So we have 9 ETFs in total, 3 per engine, and I add $10 to each one. So the growth engine, you can see VGT, VXUS, VTI, and $10 into each of those. And you'll see the JEPQ, AIPI, and ROCQ, and SCHD, IBHF, and USHY. So I put $90 in actually today, and last week I put in the $215 from DoorDash. And when I divided up, I made it $24 per each ETF. And I'll show you that here in a little bit when I go into the actual portfolio. All right, let's take a look at the summary here. So here's where the portfolio stands right now. So the growth engine is at 1408.79. That's up 0.9% today. The income engine is at 1364.87, up 0.07. And the safety net is at 1292.43, up 0.17 today. So that's a total of $4,066.09. So I want to point something out here. Look at the deposit versus the growth breakdown here. So I put in $1,282 into each engine. So that's a total of $3,846 total. And I started this back on April 27th of this year. And now the portfolio is sitting at $4,066. So that means the market has added $2,020 on top of what I've deposited. And that's amongst all 3 engines, of course. So that's not me being clever. That's just the market working in my favor while I keep stacking it up. You put money in consistently and you don't touch it, and over time, that gap grows. So I still have buying power of 10 cents you'll see in each of the accounts, and that's intentional. I just don't let the rest of the cash sit idle. I could actually put that 10 cents into something, but we're just going to leave it there for now. All right, so here is my earnings in DoorDash. So this week, actually, I made $31.47, but last week was what I was talking about, the $215. That was actually a really good week for me. So that's the one where I put $24 into each of the ETFs. This $31.47 I will actually be putting in later on this week. So that'll be maybe a little over $3 into each ETF. Not very much, but it still adds up. All right, so here you can see on the top, you can see the three, the growth engine, income engine, and safety net. So you look at the growth engine here at 1408, they've all had 1282 deposited. If you look at the 1 year or the all time, we've actually made $126.22 on the growth engine. We take a look at the income engine, we've made $83.27. And the safety net, which is just kind of very basic, it actually hasn't lost anything, and it's made $10.43. Now we look at this week here. USHY has paid a dividend on June 4th, so $2.36, and that is pending actually, so that's June 4th, and that will get deposited or put right back into that stock and buy more USHY. So I'm going to keep putting the money right back into the stocks with the drip set up on this account. And if you look down here, you can see on May 29th, this is where I put the $24 in, and I put that into each one, and that was from the 215 from DoorDash. So overall, this isn't very bad for just, I guess, maybe a little over a month, maybe 5, almost 6 weeks. So since April 27th. And so it's just really the market doing its thing. So we're just building it up slowly and consistently with whatever income or side hustle I can get. So if you would, drop a comment on which engine you would start if you were building this from scratch. I genuinely want to know. And please subscribe and hit that notification button, and we'll get you the updates.